like to buy something that they can sell for at least 40% markup, which is pretty much standard industry. Now this product is selling for $6, which really gives you 70% markup on here. So that means your margin. Your margin is the cost in between what you pay for that product and what you sell that product for. So their margin is really in that 60-70%, which is really fantastic for this particular product. Now, when we first came with this one, our price scale was a little off. And this lets you see the experience in making your product. Now, when I do this, my margins are equally as big as it is in this, but more people have $5 to spend than they have $12 or $10 to spend. The magic number in the pricing game is really $8.99. Going through the business for some years, of course, I learned these things, so now I understand what it takes to make these things work. So it's not just having a pretty package, which is a very good looking product, but it's not just about having a good looking product. It's also about having a good pricing structure that's going to allow you to really make the money and let everybody in scale. That means your wholesaler, that means your retailer, that means, yourself, of course. Everybody has to make money in this thing or it's not going to make sense. And one thing about pricing our product at $250 wholesale, it gives the retailer a chance to, he can market high at $6.99 or $5.99, but he can also drop it all the way down, to $4.50 and still make that original 40%. You know what I mean? If he so desires. So what we want to do is always leave room for that man, which is the wholesaler, to make money, because he's going to market your product, he's going to distribute your product, he's going to be the face person for that brand. And with that being said, you want to make sure they have everything they need to be successful. That means posters, that means flyers, that means shelf spacers. All these things are necessary for you to give to your wholesaler or your retailer. Well, you give it to your wholesaler and your wholesaler gives it to your retailer. But these are important elements that you need to market your product outside of just taking it to a store and sitting it on those shelves. A lot of times these products get, if you're blessed enough to get into the stores, they will just sit on the shelf because you don't have any secondary marketing. This business requires a lot of work. Sometimes people see me and they say, well, man, your product is making money while you're sleeping. You don't have to do anything. Well, that's not true. I have to do plenty. I just have to do it differently. I may not have to sit into the sun and do construction or whatever other type of occupations there are out here, but this requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of planning. It requires a lot of strategy, and it requires to be up on the technology trends that it takes to market these brands on a social media platform. Okay. I want to talk to you about how we got into Barbernomics just for a second. When we first started this roller coaster wave brand, initially it was just about this brand. It expanded to another version of this, and then a shampoo, and we did those things, and they were doing well. So one day we thought back and reflected and said, well, hey, if we can do $2,500 days and do $4,000 days with this product, what about if we sold things like these poles and chains and clippers and an assortment of things that the barber industry is already using? If we use those things, then how can we capitalize on that? So what we did is put ourselves in positions to become wholesalers, retailers actually, online retailers. So we built our platform, which is our webpage and all that good stuff. We built that platform. It's called Barbernomics, obviously, and it's pretty much where we sell a host of different products that at one time a lot of people in the business would consider us competition. What I did is I wanted to embrace that movement and become like the Walmart of products. I wanted to be able to encompass, all the brands, of my colleagues and put them on a platform and give them all a chance to be successful, in the space that I provide. So if you guys are interested in contacting me, my business partner is over there. His name is James. Please feel free to talk to him, and he'll give you the information necessary so we can get you uploaded on the site and start selling your product. I wanted to go into some of this social media and some of the things that we use on social media. One of the first and biggest things that I use, that I prefer to use, of course, is Instagram. Everybody knows Instagram has been like the main social media platform for marketing for a long time. And if you don't know how to work it, I'm just going to kind of give you a couple little insights on it. Instagram is great, you know, for looking at pictures of other people's lives. But if you're going to go ahead and you want to market a product, you have to use hashtags to really tie in to other people that have those common grounds with you. Like, for example, if a person is into barbering, the hashtag might be barber, barber life, barbershop connect, roller coaster wave, strictly cuts. Those are platforms and those are hashtags that will tie you directly into all those other hashtags that are related to those ones that I just mentioned. So it's important to stay on top of your technology and to know how to use that technology properly so you can maximize your time, because I have maybe 4 different Instagram pages, Pinterest, Tumblr, Facebook pages, and all of these things. And the app that I use to really tie all this stuff together is called IFTT. Does anybody know what IFTT is? Everybody's quiet. That's cool. Well, IFTT is if this, then that, right? And what that does, it is like a conduit app, which it just chain links everything, boom, everything together, one at a time. So when you look at the app, they have their own instructions on how to operate it, but just generally speaking, it's a recipe bowl. The recipe bowl is pretty much the platform of all the different apps that they sell or that they market, Tumblr, Pinterest, whatever. So you add all those into your recipe bowl, of course, based on your Instagram app, your host Instagram app, and then when you send on Instagram, it will automatically send out to all those other products on your recipe bowl. So that's kind of how you use IFTT, just a little general speaking about that. What I found to discover that's been real successful for us as well is using roller coaster waves and barberonomics on the Facebook platforms. They have a lot of promoting campaigns that they have for that get you a lot of exposure. I know everybody in here has Facebook, right? So when you go on Facebook, if you notice, there's always a sponsored ad somewhere, somehow on there that you didn't have nothing to do with. Well, Facebook has something to do that, and they sell that space. When you build your profile up, say if you're into swimming or barbering, then that registers with them. So when I build my profile and I want to market to those certain communities, then it will say the things that relate to my barbering categories. When I promote from a sponsorship level, then it will automatically attach to all those things that were in my interest category. It's pretty self-explanatory. You know, I'm pretty good at doing a lot of the work, but setting it up sometimes is a little bit much for me. But when I tell you I can do it, then you can do it, then anybody can do it. So I use Facebook a lot for promoting and really setting up a lot of these things for my Instagram business, and it's really great. So, let me tell you this about that though. There is a cost. So you say, for example, you pay for a Facebook ad, and it says you want to spend $15 or $20 or whatever, you do that. That's for the initial send out. Now for people that hit that ad or they come back to that ad, they get a percentage of that as well. I'm not necessarily crazy about that, but does it provide an opportunity for us to